What's up guys, Bryce here, and we're back at it again for another video. And in this video we have another league racing video. Now this is a tier 2 2SRL league race, and I'm filling in for Racing Point as a reserve driver. And if you did not see the tier 1 live stream, it did not go, didn't really get the result I wanted. It had a pretty disappointing race, and this is pretty much redemption time for me. And qualifying did not go that well. I'm using a different setup. I tried to go for a more stable setup just to change things, because here's really testing grounds on tier 2. So the qualifying was pretty much horrible. I got a 26.2, and in tier 1 I got a 25.2. But the race pace was off, so this time I went for a complete opposite strategy and got a really stable setup, and the qualifying pace was horrible. But in the race you'll see here that it did work out a lot better than tier 1. So again, still trying to learn every day and still trying to figure out what works best, and this is kind of the testing ground for me. So here we are in the Racing Point, back using the cockpit cam. Here's the formation lap, and down in 12th place, and yeah, I don't know why it was 15th for qualifying, but we're in 12th place here for the race. And starting on the medium tires, we chose to do the medium hard strategy, and the strategy worked out pretty well. And as you'll see in a few moments here, we will be on the starting grid, and here we are on the starting grid for tier 2 in Bahrain. And I'd say the start went pretty well, and as the full grid reforms, everyone will sync up and load into the game. And here we go, 4 red lights, 5 red lights at Bahrain, and we go green and overtake already on lean fuel mode to reduce wheel spin, and we get a pretty decent start, trying not to be too aggressive at the start. And we have Mercedes on our right and another car on our left, so we lose about a few positions here, and just trying to keep it clean at the first lap, not trying to do anything risky. Car on the left as well, just gonna stay out of things, stay out of trouble here. And we're down in 15th place, so we lost a few places at the start. And on the first lap, we're just trying to keep it clean. As a few guys lock up, a piece of wing comes off, and luckily we did not run over that too badly. And as you can see, we have a car on the left, but we do let him go. Again, first lap, really just trying to be patient and calm here, just trying to let things happen. And we almost go around the outside of the Williams here of Fropsy. I think that's how you pronounce it. As you can see here, 2 cars on the right are having a little battle there. We pass our teammate, and that moves us up into 14th place. And I think a little tap from him from behind, I wasn't exactly sure. And here we're saving a whole lot of ERS. We have so much to play with at this point in the race. We have 88% of ERS, and this setup is really low downforce as well compared to the other setup I used. So we have a lot of ERS to play with here. We're super close to the Mercedes here, and we're just going to stay really close, so then on this little straight here we will have a little chance to pass him. Try to get as late in apex as possible. He locks up, ERS on, rich fuel mode, and we easily blow by him on the right hand side with no DRS. So this will move us up into 13th place. Braking super hard there, trying to get late apex. The Williams locks up, which gives us a little bit of a advantage here. ERS, rich fuel mode, I don't think we're close enough. Yeah, we're not close enough on this lap yet, so we're gonna stay behind and wait for the DRS. So the first lap we lost a few positions, but we made it back up to 13th place, and there's a few cars in front of us that are having a bit of a battle here, so we can slowly just try to lurk here and try to make up a few positions. And as you can see here, we move on to lap 3, still the same position, no positions gained. And here we have SLR NJJ spins out, so that puts us into 12th place. So again, it's about being consistent as well. End of lap 3 here, we are super close to Fropsy in the Williams. So here we're close. ERS, rich fuel mode, we're not going to make the move just yet because we want to wait for the straight to get that DRS. And here we're going to go move all the way to the left hand side using all of the track, hitting that apex really nicely, getting a super smooth exit. Here's going to be pretty easy. Overtake, rich fuel mode, DRS, and even though he has DRS, we still can move to the right hand side, and we still have a lot of 75%, so we're not quite using all of it. Raising the brake bias to 53, braking as hard as we can, and we do get the move done. A little tap, I move to the right to give him a lot of space, and we try to cut back on him, and DRS again here, so it's pretty much a DRS train, and rich fuel mode, and he's still on the left hand side. We're gonna try to give him as much room as we can, but still try to brake late. We stay super tight there, and he does able to pull back in front, so we're not gonna make too much of a risky move. Really, when I like to race wheel to wheel, I like to give as much room as I can, just so it's nice and fair. And as you can see here, we pass another driver who spun out on the left, so this puts us up into 11th place, but we still have to pass Fropsy here, which we know we have the pace to catch him, but we're just being patient. Only lap 4 4 of 29, a long race to go. Slowly downshifting into the corner to really just be as stable and smooth as possible. And DRS open, but this is not that great of a passing area, but it still gives you DRS. Braking at the 100-meter board here, clipping this curb again. He locks up once again, so that's not going to help him. And here, rich fuel mode, overtake, DRS. A lot of ERS to play with, but still cannot pass him. We stay behind him till lap 5, and I believe this is the lap where I do pass him, and he spins out. He spins out, so that will move us up into 9th place. From our own pressure, you could say. We did force an error. Now we have Neon Rays in front of us on the hard tire. So, yeah, our medium tires are slowly starting to degrade, and Neon Rays is on a different strategy. Now moving on to lap 7, we have Zola in the other Williams on the soft tires, but by this point the tires are really low. On where overtake, rich fuel mode, even though he has DRS, we move to the inside of the track to try to make an overtake on him. Braking super hard into this corner, we take a super tight line here. As you can see here, he's still there on the left hand side, and we get the move done into turn 2. And now this moves us up into 6th place, but obviously some drivers have pit. So now I think we pit on lap 12, so we have a few more laps to go. He's still there behind us, but those soft tires are not good enough at this stage in the race. Neon Rays is in front of us, and I don't think we're able to catch him. Lap 12, he is a little bit loose there in the rear. And lap 12, this is where we made our pit stop, I believe, and his tires just don't have as much pace as the mediums, even though they're still pretty old. Almost went off track there, which would have gave us a warning. We have 1 warning so far in the race. Going to this last corner here, braking super hard, the 50-meter board got taken out somehow. He locks up, we clip the apex super nicely. Rich fuel mode, we still have a decent amount of ERS, just below 50, and we turn it off, and we can easily get this move done. And now we can try to push a gap for this pit stop. So we're going to pit for the hard tires on this lap. We make the move done. We're in P1 now, but obviously we have not pit yet, so I believe this will push us down into 9th place, which is unfortunate. But now we're going to try to pull the gap, and this is the lap we're going to pit. And yeah, pretty happy so far with our performance. We got a few places, and here's the lap where I pit, and now is pretty much where we need to do hammer time, I guess you could say. And now is where we need to make up the positions on the hard tires, because this will be, you know, where I finish the race on the tire I finished the race on. Moving it to lean fuel mode just to save a little bit of fuel as our ERS recharges as well. Going into the pits here, got nice fresh hard tires, and we do get a 2.5 second stop, which is pretty decent. Pretty good actually for multiplayer. And we're getting past here, a lot of drivers coming out there, and this will put us in 7th place and even 8th place as the AlphaTauri passes us and 2 other cars behind us. So we just squeeze in right here, which is perfect. And now we're in 8th place, and we have a few positions to make up if we want to do good. So ERS on 64% of ERS, so this is pretty good for us. So we have 2 SLR null in front of us. And again, most of the drivers in here are pretty quick actually, and yeah, it's always fun doing these races. But here we go, breaking down into this corner here. We're just gonna sit behind him until we can get that DRS, and we are in DRS range. So now we're just gonna wait for the straight. The best place to pass on this track, I think, is the front straight. A nice long straight with a hard braking zone here. Unless you're super close, again, we're not close enough, but this will help us stay close for that front straight, saving ERS, but still trying to stay close to him. As we get super close to him here, braking hard at the 50, trying to get a late apex here so we can stay with him. We have Crystals behind us too, who is still decently close, so we have to watch out for him on the medium tire. But here, we're using all of the track on the left, getting a late apex, again, as smooth as we possibly can. That's kind of my goal, really, to try to be super smooth, and we managed to be smooth. And rich fuel mode here, and braking super hard right at that 100-meter board, turning in, clipping that inside curb nicely with these fresh hard tires. And here we go, overtake on as well, DRS, and we get a really easy pass, just flying by him before the braking zone. And this will move us up into 7th place, bringing out the 100-meter board and keeping a tight line, because he almost tried to go for that move down the inside, and we managed to stay in front of him. And now lap 15, we have a few more laps to make up some places, and now we're going to try to pass Joel here. As you can see, we have DRS, and his car is moving all over the place. So he did, I don't know if that was my connection or not, but the connection was not the greatest, so I was a bit cautious here on passing him. As you can see here, his car is jumping around all over the place. And here we're trying to save our ERS, DRS open, because we are still pretty close to him. And even going into this corner, his car is bouncing all over the place, so we weren't really sure how hard it would be to overtake him with these connection issues. And saving our fuel here, we have lean fuel mode with 0.35 left, so we have a bit of fuel to play with as well as ERS here. And we missed this apex. That's the apex I think I missed the most on this track. And going down to this next braking zone here is the hardest braking zone on this track for me. It's a turning downhill braking zone, off the brakes when you turn, and then trying to get a good exit with a lot of wheel spin. DRS open here, and we have our ERS on, and we're gaining just a little bit. By the time we get to the corner though, it's not close enough to make any sort of move here. Trying to get a late apex once again. Going through this next sequence of corners, we're super close, lap 16, and we move on to basically the back straight of lap 16, and here we're super close. We decided to not make the move as he defends on the inside and he lets us go. I wasn't exactly sure why he did that. I'm not sure if that was a mistake or what. Maybe he tried to get the DRS on this front straight. But now we are in front, but we did not try to defend because he was going to have DRS. There's no point of trying to defend this. We will lose time. So he goes on the inside, and I brake just a tad bit early in case he tries to move over. We try to get a late apex, and we do. And now we're just going to try to get a good exit here. ERS not on, still in this lean fuel mode, and we're just trying to conserve our battery and just play the conservative game here. Third gear, clipping that apex pretty nicely, and now we need to get past him as quickly as we can. Maybe I should have defended a bit more there on the straight, but now we need to get past him so we can move up a few places here. Just missing that first gear to really get that extra bit of rotation and slow the car down, and we have a lot of fuel to play with now. Almost half a lap of fuel to play with here, and we have Neon Rays behind us as well on the medium tire, so he went for the opposite strategy as me, so he's gonna have a bit of advantage. We're super close here, but we decided to not make the move. But again, now we have to watch out from Neon Rays on the medium tire, because I could definitely tell that his pace was a lot quicker. So it was really critical here, because if I got past Joel, then I can make a bit of a gap for Neon Rays pass, because that was kind of inevitable with him on the faster tire. Almost going wide there as Joel goes super wide. I'm not sure if that gave him a warning or not. But now, going through the last corner here in lap 17, the 100 meter board has gotten taken down. So this means that we have to use other markers on the track for our braking point. And now on the front straight here, we have yellow flags on this front straight, but that doesn't affect us. DRS and overtake, but you can see Neon Rays is behind us. I was not sure where to go. He goes almost in between us. He goes on the inside, and he's super close to Joel, and he almost makes the move on him as well. So we just got past there, which is not good, because that means that we're behind 2 cars now instead of 1. They're battling it out, and I'm just staying on the left hand side to try to get a really good exit. On that straight there, I was not sure where to go, but he's trying to get past him, which means that we can sit back and just wait for him to make the move, and then we'll be able to get Joel, because he most likely will have no ERS. And here's our perfect time to conserve the fuel and the ERS. We have 67, almost up to 70, so this is a really good option for us to preserve our ERS. And going through this corner here, Neon Rays taking a really tight line there, locking up, and we're just trying to keep it tight and tidy here. And moving on to the back straight of lap 18, Neon Rays did in fact get past him, but as you can see, Joel now has very low ERS based on his light blinking on his car. And now we can use our overtake, our rich fuel mode, and since he has no ERS, we can make a pretty simple pass on him. Moving to the inside, he's not going to defend that too hard because he doesn't have any ERS. Braking super hard into turn 1, locking up just a tiny bit. He's still there on the left. We give him a bit of room, he's still there, and now on this front straight, it's going to be a race to the next corner. Just a little bit of contact there, and now going down to this corner here, braking at the 100 meter board, staying super tight, a little bit of contact there, a little bit of oversteer, and we're still behind him. We still cannot get past, and in my mind I knew that this was wasting time. And yeah, we try to focus on getting good exits out of these corners so we can pass him now, braking super hard, and there's a lot of tire marks there, which is actually pretty cool. So that's kind of a turning point in a braking reference as well. And now we know we need to get past him, so we have a lot of ERS to play with, so we can finally deploy this ERS to get past him. Rich fuel mode here, DRS. We're not going to pass him here. Again, it's pretty difficult to pass here unless you have a really good tire advantage. I don't want to make any risks here. Braking down at the 50 meter board, getting a late apex, and we need to get past him as soon as we can so we can move on to the next driver. Lap 19 of 29. We have about 11 laps left, I believe. and almost going wide there. We needed no penalties. A penalty would ruin this race, and now here's our perfect chance to overtake him. He has no DRS now because the car in front has pulled a little gap, clipping that apex really nicely. And now a bit of oversteer, and we do have Noel behind us as well, but we're not too worried about him. Light flashing, no ERS, and we make an easy move flying by him on the right hand side of the track, and that'll put us up into 4th place. And now we technically have 3rd place at grabs because Neon Rays is most likely going to get that 3rd place, and hopefully when they battle we're able to catch them. And here on lap 25 we have a safety car. We're still trying to push to catch the Haas in P3, but we do have a safety car, which is unfortunate because I try to go just a bit below the speed limit because I would rather not get a penalty. But the safety car is over lap 28, and 1 more lap to go, or 2 more laps actually, and Neon Race has slowed down quite a lot. I believe he had desyncing issues based on what they said in the live stream. So unfortunately, he did have that issue, but that was not going to stop me from trying to get this P4. I knew that the Haas was a bit too far in front, but Neon Rays and the mediums, I don't know if the mediums died or what. He's locking up everywhere. He locked up in this corner, and now we are within a second to pass him. And this is a really crucial moment here, trying to basically keep it really clean. These hard tires are pretty old. Now saving our fuel here, but our overtake button is super low. We used it a lot to try to pull this gap as tight as we possibly could. We only have 25%, so now we really have to build this gap, or close the gap in fact, to get this DRS and to overtake him. He locks up once again. We have DRS here, just a tad touch of the ERS to just put that gap a bit closer and try to put as much pressure on him as we possibly can. He locks up a tad bit, and yeah, lean fuel mode as well. And as you can see here, his pace is not that great. I'm not sure what the issue was, but again, we wanted to pass him no matter what the cost was. And using curb on the left hand side, lean fuel mode, his light is blinking. He does not have much ERS left, and this front straight was going to be our only chance to pass him because, again, last lap of the race he locks up and we lock up and go deep as well. That's sometimes a bad habit. You want to follow what the other driver is doing, and this is going to be an easy pass on the inside. DRS, he is super slow, and that is a really clean pass, and we were managed to make it stick. And now we cover the inside, just take a little bit of a more tight line, and this puts us up into P4. Last lap, we're not going to be able to close in on the Haas in 1 lap. I think if we had a bit more time, we would have been able to. And yeah, we come home to take P4, just a few more corners to go, and managed to keep it together. Definitely having a bit more of a stable setup allowed us to get more passes and able to collect the P4, which I was pretty happy with considering we qualified P15 at the first lap. We were in P15, made it up to P4. A really good result for me, and yeah, it's always a struggle. That's kind of what racing is about, trying to find a good setup, and the setup was definitely what cost me, I think, in tier 1. It just wasn't suited to me. I want to try to make my own custom setups, and yeah, that is going to be it for this race. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, leave a like down below. And yeah, a really good result, and thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. Be tuned for China next week, and yeah, pretty good race. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.